to my home and my kitchen. And you guys, thanks so much for all of your emails. I recently put up 2 recipes, one for French vanilla ice cream and one for the granita recipe, both of which got tremendous response, and I really appreciate it. And I got an email last week from Stacy in New York City. She grew up in Georgia, I believe, and said that she misses peach desserts. She grew up with peaches. They're obviously great in Georgia. They were great in Louisiana where I grew up. So I wanted to share this recipe for you. It's a low-fat recipe, which is nice. It uses buttermilk and peaches to make a sherbet, and it's really delicious. So let's get started. I have the ingredients already pulled out, and I wanted to go over a few things with you. This calls for 4 peaches, and they're about baseball-sized peaches, almost 2 pounds, 1 3/4 pounds worth of peaches before they've been chopped up. You need 3/4 cup of white sugar. We're going to need 1/4 cup of light corn syrup, 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, which makes it delicious, and a little bit tart, paired with the 1½ cups of buttermilk. This is a low-fat buttermilk. It works just fine. And 1 cup of milk. I'm using low-fat 1% milk here. You could use whole milk if you decided to do that. It's all good. And you'll need 1/2 of a teaspoon of course, salt. Not iodized salt in this recipe. It adds a little weird flavor to it. So for the peaches, I've already chopped up 3 of them, but I wanted to show you on this 4th one how I do this. I'm going to take the peach, and I'm going to take my knife right around it, and the blade is actually resting right on the pit of this, on the stone. And then around the other way, so I'm making 4/4 to this peach. Just like that. And then over my bowl, I'm just going to pull the segments right away from the stone. It's a simple way to do it. These are going to break down as we cook them, so no need to worry about chopping them up any further. So I have a saucepan here on the stove. I'm going to put this over medium heat to start. Add all my peaches. And the sugar, 3/4 cup of sugar. No other liquid is needed in this. The liquid from the peaches is going to add what we need for this. So I'm going to grab a spatula. I'm going to let this cook for about 20 minutes over medium heat, stirring occasionally. It's going to reduce, you'll see. I'll show you in a few minutes what it needs to look like. It's been just about 3 or 4 minutes. The sugar's starting to melt, and the water and the liquid's coming out of the peaches, and I just wanted to show you this step of it. They're not broken down as far as we want them. Like I said, this is going to cook for 20 minutes, but the juice from the peaches is coming out nicely, and that's exactly what we want. And one note about the peaches. I'm using white peaches in this recipe because that's what I found at the farmer's market. They're absolutely delicious. I've made this with regular peaches, the yellow peaches. It's delicious as well. So try what you see. You know, when you go to your farmer's market, if you see white peaches, try them. They're really delicious. It's been just about 20 minutes, and I wanted to show you what this syrup is starting to look like. There are some rather large chunks of peaches in this, and the last few minutes, what I'm going to do is just take the back of my spatula here and break those up. You don't want them completely pulverized because the next step they're going into the blender, but you want them, broken up pretty well. And then these are going to go into the blender. And one thing, I've gotten several comments on my ice cream video asking why go to the trouble of making something like this when you can just go to the store and buy a premium brand that's probably just as good. And you know what, that is just fine, and I do that on occasion too when I don't have time to make ice cream. Absolutely, I'll go to the store and buy the brand of my choice. But what you can do when you actually make recipes like what I'm showing you guys, you can take the time to select the ingredients that you want to put into this to make it yours. And that's, usually high quality ingredients, better than most products you can buy at the grocery store. So that's why. So I've got this syrup into the blender. I'm going to turn it on, let it go until it's nicely pureed, about 45 seconds. Okay, that is perfect. The blender is going to be a little bit warm because it just came off the stove, so be careful. And what I've done here is I've taken a saucepan, or I've taken actually a saucepan with the lip, and a strainer, and fitted that right over the top. I'm going to take my puree and pour that right into the strainer, and with a spatula I'm going to stir this just to make sure that everything goes down through nicely, catching all the big bits. Alright, I'm just going to get the rest of this strained through. I'm going to leave it to cool for about 10 minutes just here on the counter. And after 10 minutes, we'll come back, add the rest of the ingredients, and finish it up. So our mixture's cooled off just a little bit. I'm going to add the rest of these ingredients, starting with the light corn syrup. And what I did is I just sprayed a little bit of non-stick spray in my measuring cup before I put in the syrup. It just makes it easier to come out. And the lemon juice. And both our milk and our buttermilk go in. And then half a teaspoon of the coarse salt. Just take a whisk and whisk all this together nicely until it's combined. Then I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator about 30-45 minutes until you feel like it's cool to the touch, and you can just touch the top side of your container and tell. So that's all combined into the refrigerator. Like I said, 30-45 minutes. We'll take it out, we'll stick it in the freezer, and it'll be done. Okay, so my peach and buttermilk mixture has been in the refrigerator for almost 45 minutes. Check it. If you don't feel like it's really, really ice cold, leave it in the refrigerator or put it in the freezer for about 15 minutes. So just make sure it's ice cold before you add it to your ice cream maker bowl. Scrape all of that buttermilk and peach mixture out of your container. We're going to put our blade in it. And then into the ice cream maker. According to your manufacturer's instructions, mine calls for 30 minutes. So that's what I'll do. I'll make sure that it's nicely blended and then get it into an airtight container. All right, it's been just about 30 minutes. We're going to get our ice cream off the maker. It's nicely churned, as you can see. A nice amount of air is incorporated into it, which is exactly what you want. It's going to give you the consistency that you want in your sherbet. So I'm going to give this a taste. Let you know what I think. It's the best sherbet I've ever had. I love it. I really think you'll love it. And a good alternative to the peaches, back in the beginning, if you had used 1 3/4 pounds of strawberries, done the same way with the sugar added, it would be absolutely delicious as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape this out into an airtight container, go into the refrigerator or in the freezer until it's ready to serve. It can stay in the refrigerator for about a week. Alright, so enjoy this recipe. I really think you will. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and please feel free to email me at scottindenver@msn.com should you want to ask me to make a particular recipe for you. I'll be happy to. Alright, take care. Bye.